Our greatest glory is not in never failing, but in rising each time we fail. Welcome to Politics in View, brought to you by the new National Star TV. I am Christine Telfa, your host, and with me today is a very distinguished guest. I'll let him introduce himself.
Thank you very much. My name is Eric James Ochigbo.
Thank you very much, Mr. James, for joining us today. Today we'll be discussing a very interesting and very controversial topic. We'll be talking about the effects of cabals in the corridors of power in Nigeria. Now, right from the 1999, where Nigeria switched from the military rule to the civil rule, we have noticed several benevolent and malevolent groups that have risen up in sabotaging and in trying to, take away power and, thwart decision making all in the shadows. Now, Mr. James, I'd like to ask you, are they truly cabals that actually operate independently of elected officials, like people who are pulling strings in the background from afar?
Thank you very much. Before I approach the question, it is important for us to even lay the background of what cabal is about. Before we got to the concept of cabals, we had godfathers. The idea of cabals started from godfathers, and that was around 300 AD, just when Jesus Christ was resurrected. It started with the Christian community where Christians were being persecuted. And now for you to join the Christian faith, there was need for somebody to guarantee that, this person is a good person. It's not one of those who want to persecute us. So you can join. So somebody agrees, somebody kind of speaks for you, vouches for you that this person is good. And two, you're not a pagan, so you will not infiltrate the faith. So that's what the role of the godfather. That's what he does. But about 800 AD, where the Catholic Church introduced infant baptism, it became even more important because the godfather will not only recommend you, he has the responsibility of protecting the faith. He has the responsibility of guiding you through the process. So it secures the system and the person. And so down the line, he came into politics. Godfather came into politics. And along the line, he became cabal. In Nigeria, he became cabal. So yes, we have cabals in Nigeria. In Nigerian politics, they operate outside the electoral system. Some times ago, we saw a picture of a commissioner in Akwa Ibom State kneeling before the governor. People will say it's a sign of respect. But you and I know that guy was preparing to be the next governor. We saw the same thing in Delta State, where a senator who is preparing to run for governorship in 2023, kneeling before former Governor James Ibori. And we may say sign of respect, but we know who Ibori is in Delta State. We saw something like that in Lagos State in the last election, where the Governor Ambode was not allowed to run for second term. Yeah, though he wanted to run, but he didn't run. Very recently, you'd have heard about the Ile in Osun State, where the governor, when the APC presidential candidate, as what you said, he installed the president.
Yeah.
Including Ile in Yoruba means including this one here as governor, right? So we agree, we know that there are cabals, there are political godfathers in Nigerian politics. And the effects is seen. I don't know if I'm already going out of the question. I don't know if I'm already going out of the question.
You aren't. We would also like to ask you what the role of these cabals are.
Now, these cabals, like I said before, it came out of godfathers. The roles the concept initially wasn't bad. It was just to ensure we get the right person into office. It was just to ensure we protect the system. It's just to ensure we guide whoever is there to get the best result. But along the line, it's no longer that way. So the role of a godfather right now, as we have in Nigerian politics, is to do everything possible to put his political godson in office with a view or with a hope to get greater returns. And that's what we see in virtually every state in Nigeria. We saw similar thing happen in Edo State, where Governor Baseki was about to run for second term. The then power block, the state then said no, and all that, and all that. He went to PDP and won elections. Unlike how it happened to Ambodi, he left office. We saw similar thing happen in Ebonyi State, but it didn't work well. I think we must give it to Eastern Nigeria. It's one part of the country where godfatherism is not really working. We saw Governor Rochas try something like that in Imo State, but didn't really work out. So yes, we have seen the functions, we have seen godfathers, and their primary aim is to put their godson, political godson as it were, in office with the hope to control power, with the hope to control state resources, with the hope to get greater benefits.
So do you think this whole cabal issue, do you think, what does it stem from? Does it stem from ethnicity? Does it stem from religion? Or just the need to amass more wealth?
We have seen cabals across ethnic groups. We have seen them across regional groups as well. It's about interest. Where is my interest? What is my interest? And unfortunately, you're changing democracy where the interest should be about the people. It's about interest. He wants to control power because they say power is very, very toxic, very addictive.
True.
So once you've tasted, you don't want to live there. It's for you to retain political power, have control over human and state resources. So it's stemming from greed, not really necessarily for the welfare of the Nigerian people, but political godfatherism or cabal, as it were, it's about greed, holding up to group, a few persons, holding on to power, holding on to resources for their personal interest.
What effects have these cabals had on political transparency and accountability?
Unfortunately, the greatest effect, negative effect, I would say, of godfatherism or political cabal, as it were, is that it has taken power from the electorate. It has defeated the principle of democracy in Nigeria. So we say to be practicing democracy on paper, but maybe oligarchy or government by a few. Now, and they keep telling you lies to keep you there, keep telling you your vote doesn't count. You've not heard that, your vote doesn't count. And that continues to make you feel, I don't need to go out. So because these guys will always decide what will happen. They will always tell you, your vote doesn't count. This is make sure they keep you out of the circle. But it's not true. And I like what's happening now. In fact, as of this morning, I hear new registration in the ongoing voter registration. New, fresh registration about 12 to 13 million.
Wow.
Nigerians are beginning to know that, look, that lie you told us,
it's not true.
It's not true. So it covers your eyes and tells you, the power is not with you, it's not your PVCs. Even if you vote, it doesn't count. They tell you that it doesn't count. Then it breaks down into bad governance. They put somebody in office and they decide on whatever they want to do. And you could have seen from 2009, when we got back democracy, we'll continue to have bad governance to the extent now that Abuja is no longer safe. If we are to talk about what bad governance have done to Nigeria, we will not live here today. But again, it shows that when a few control state power, when a few control state resources for their personal interests, the result is the Nigeria we have today. There is no sector I'm going to mention right now that will be proud of the data or of the results or the outputs of what is happening today. So the basic effect for me the negative effect of cabals in government is bad governance. And bad governance is everything. Bad governance, it reflects even in your thoughts, in your sleep. Bad governance affects everything.
These cabals have been seen to be an intolerable burden on democratic governance. Do you believe that these cabals are actually the ones holding this country hostage in terms of democracy?
Absolutely. The cabals have held us hostage. They've held us hostage for too long. They've told us, because a cabal, this group of cabals, as it were, they will do everything possible, including political violence, vote buying. They will do everything human and spiritually possible to put their political godsons in office. And that has brought us a whole lot of pain. The country is weeping for this reason. So they will do everything possible to put somebody in office. And once that is done, that person is only a puppet anyway.
True.
That person is only a symbol. Those running the government, those making decisions, those making things happen the way they want it, are not seen. So in other words, the leaders we have are important to a lot of times they are handicapped and they're in chains. Because this same political godfathers or cabals as it were, has got what it takes to remove him from office as well. As we saw happen very recently in this country. We have seen state governors just wake up, tell the state house of assembly, impeach the deputy governor. And in 5-10 minutes, that's done and dusted. Because you have gone astray. You have gone away from the agreement you had with the political godfathers, with the cabals, and they can decide to do what they want to do. So it's a body. It's a body. If somebody gets into office, he wants to do what is right, but he cannot. Because I won't stay here for too long if this happens. If I agree to do this, some of them will tell you behind closed doors. But as it were, the taste of power is sweet. And so he's not ready to lose it. He's not ready to walk away from it. So he compromises. Okay, let's see what we can do. And that is why we have bandits in Abuja here right now. What started in minute group that started somewhere in the northeast. We've not been able to take care of it. We have people whose hands are tied. And they are now here in the city center with us.
It's really sad, the things that we have seen, all the evils that we have seen unfold because of this issue of cabal. We'll take it back to also during the government of Goodluck Jonathan, during his time. We saw how the cabals in the oil sector, as we say, forced us into moving from a fuel pump price of 65 naira to 147. Instead of our president then clearly said, instead of coming out to name these cabals and name the people who are responsible for all these things that we are facing, all of these economic problems, he instead hit them and then removed the fuel subsidy. What do you think? What are the effects of these cabals on our economic state as a country? What have these cabals done? Good, bad? What have they done on our economic state?
I will mention subsidy. My heart bleeds. You see, under Goodluck Jonathan, the subsidy itself is a scam and a very beautiful bride that everybody, the cabal, want to have a pinch of it. It's their most revered bride because they make a lot of money. Nigeria spends trillions of naira annually on subsidy, a whole lot of money. So it's not just fair talking about it. When Jonathan discovered that it was fraud, he wanted to remove subsidy and let us buy fuel at the right price. Now the cabals came together and said, like, if this guy removes the subsidy, we will lose our fat cow, our beautiful bride we are holding dear to us. And so they mobilized Nigerians. Using their resources, using their connection, mobilized Nigerians, and ignorantly, unfortunately, Nigerians fell for it. And came out to shut down Abuja, shut down Lagos to ensure the fuel subsidy is not removed. Now, those who really were behind that protest operation, shut down Nigeria, a lot of them, in fact, virtually all of them are in this government right now. They removed the subsidy. Fuel now goes for 185 now. But let me shock you. A probe is going on in the National Assembly. And just yesterday, AA Rano and other big oil companies told the National Assembly that they have not received fuel subsidy money since 2016.
Oh.
They have not received subsidy money since 2016. But government have been paying for subsidy. Now, let me shock you further. A couple of companies were discovered to have collected subsidy. In the same probe, it was revealed that two of these companies was responsible for the bad fuel we once had very recently. Do you recall?
Yeah, I do.
Now, when the National Assembly wrote TAC to give us the details of this company, I shock you further. They don't exist. In the details of CAC, they don't exist. And if I knew this was going to come up, perhaps I would have come out with their names and I'll mention it again.
So these are ghost companies.
So these are ghost companies. So what is the effect? If you're asking me, what's the effect of cabals on our economy? This is just one. This is just one. Do you know why we'll never have power in this country? It's not because we can't generate power in this country. We have cabals in the power sector who are making a whole lot of money, so you would never have lights. If I am selling generator, I'm very sure we're running on one here now. If you are running, if I sell generator, all the big generators that you know, and I'm making a lot of money from it, I will never want you to have power. So if you do have power, I'm out of business. And so these people form a clog of strong political to influence and to ensure it never works. Have you discussed? I don't know how long you've stayed in Abuja. There was a time before you enter any market in this Abuja, there's an electronic toll gate. As you drive in, you just press the button, it gives you a voucher. You do your shopping in the market. As you're going out, there's a particular place you go and pay. And then you drive out. As you're driving out, before the gate open for you, you put slot it back, then the gate opens for you. So that has taken money from the hands of people. If you go around Abuja today, there is no market where that thing is working. And that has shot revenue generation to a very high level. But because this money we have to go through, and when they just give you the manual, I give you the manual tickets, you give me the money, a lot will go back to government. Yeah. So they came up with this idea of electronic toll gates. But as I'm talking to you, in Gariki market, in Wuse market, you see those guys now paying, they're back. We're back to status quo.
Yes, true.
We're back to status quo. And again, it's because some set of cabals who were making money from the manual system
stop making
are out of business and left to do. We can't allow this thing work. We can't allow it work. So the effect of cabals or godfathers as it were on the economy. Today, dollar is 710 naira. We are not producing. Everybody is importing something to this country and milking out of us. So you want to produce something, you can't compete. This is because there's a clog of people. The airlines are shutting down now. We're in a messy place. This is because for every sector there is a clog of cabals making decisions, protecting their interests as against the interests of the people.
Wow, this has been such an eye-opener. Thank you, Mr. James. We'll be right back with more information on the effects of cabals in the corridors of power in Nigeria. Don't go away. Welcome back. This is Politics in View, brought to you by the new National Star TV. I'm here with Mr. James and we've been discussing the effects of cabals in the corridors of power in Nigeria. Now, Mr. James, we have seen terrorism at an all-time high. And they also, like you've said, there's a cabal in every sector. So we have to assume there's a cabal in terrorism as well. We have seen terrorism skyrocket more than economic growth has ever witnessed in this country. Do you think these cabals are actually the ones that are enforcing this lawlessness in this country and promoting terrorism up and down?
Thank you very much. We once had the president in this country. I can't verify this statement, but it has been out there for a very long time. That says if insurgency lasts for more than 24 hours, the government is involved. Former president of this country, Brian Babangida, that was attributed to him. I can't verify it. I'm not sure if he said so. But we have seen terrorism grow in this country like child's play to a mighty adult, and now a giant we're about running. We have nowhere to run to right now. It started in a minute community in the Northeast, and it kept coming down, We have, and if you watch I like a lot of movies that has to do with security and intelligence. 24, those are my kind of movies. And you see that they always have moles
inside
the government and inside the security agencies. And I see that playing out every day. And so we hear that a particular community was attacked. Before that happened, the military were pulled out. Who gave that information? So it shows you that a network of people making this happen. Before the Dapchi girls were adopted, where it was reported that shortly before the adoption happened, the military guys they were removed. And these guys came, had a field day, and left with the Dapchi girls. So I will continue to have such stories every now and then. Oh, the military just left. You could imagine very high classical operation going on, about to go on. This guy is not about it. I don't know how long you've lived in this country. Have you ever heard presidential advance team going somewhere? Have you ever heard? But just very recently, the presidential advance team was attacked in Katsina, on their way to Katsina. The advance team of the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I'm down to Abuja here now. We had a prison break. We have the infamous prison break that went Abuja. And I shock you further. Before that prison break happened, there were 44 DSS reports warning that there's a pending attack on the Kuje prisons. 44, I didn't say 4, I say 44. And that was made public by the House of Representatives just the day before yesterday. Nothing was done. The attack happened. Terrorists escaped. They're having their field day. We are still here. Nobody has been arrested. So we don't have, in fact, the government itself has acknowledged that there are people behind this, there are cabals behind this thing. We have heard government say we know those behind it, but we've not heard their names. Mention names. Nobody has mentioned any names. This present administration have told us several times that they know those one. They've mentioned a couple of times that we have a list, we are compiling them. I think very recently an international body released names of those who were involved in terrorism in Nigeria. Nobody has been arrested. Nobody has been. So again, that shows that there's a clog of very powerful persons who's possible might have held people in very top positions in government holding a captive. So I'm not surprised. And I think it's very glaring to know that, because you see the president will come and condemn, and he's shocked, but nothing is done.
Speaking of the president, when he came into power, when he was coming into power, he promised us this vision of eradicating corruption in every sector. And I wonder, this vision he had, are we still plagued by this corruption? Are we still plagued by these cabals that he promised to eradicate? Because you made mention of how, they are compiling names, they're compiling lists. Why haven't these people been prosecuted yet?
Unfortunately, we don't know that alone the president can answer. We don't know why those who have been arrested have not been prosecuted. We don't know why of all the arrests that have been made, names are not made public. I've not seen any top politician or very influential person, because you and I cannot afford to buy an AK-47. It's not child's play. We are still looking for a tuber of yam is 2,000 naira now in Nigeria, in Abuja. If you've not eaten enough yam, is it AK-47 you have money to buy? So somebody somewhere is responsible for the ammunition, and these guys are using strong ammunition, not just machine guns, and these are very expensive. How they get it? We don't know. Recently, I think a report came out the day before yesterday or so that cattle that were roasted from Plateau and were found in Gombe, and all Bauchi were found in Gombe, and they're in the community. So the community raised alarm, and then they were arrested. But these armed robbers, I will call them now, and I don't want to tag them, but we know those who carry cattle in this country, who've got the expertise to move cattle from one place to another through the bushes, and they were a lot of money. The report says a huge amount of money. They didn't give us the exact number. Huge amount of money was recovered. It was the deputy speaker that was saying this, the House of Representatives. So a huge amount of money we recovered, and arrays of machine guns. So how did they purchase this man following one cow around? We see them everywhere. Where did he get the money to obtain such sophisticated weapon? So there's a cabal, there's a group of people behind it. And it's important, it's interesting to know that crisis situation, war situation, is money-making venture for some persons. If I remember my history very well, when Pearl Harbor was attacked before the Second World War, when Pearl Harbor was attacked, a school of thought says the American businessmen who deal in arms wanted to join the war, but America had a policy of splendid isolation, never to be involved in whatever does not concern America. So to force America to get involved in the war, there was an attack on Pearl Harbor. This attack was said to be carried out by Japan. But a school of thought said it wasn't Japan that attacked Pearl Harbor, it was American themselves. Attacked Pearl Harbor, put the blame on Japan so we can get into the war and make money. Those cabals in charge of it. So we don't know which is true now. If Japan actually attacked Pearl Harbor or the cabals attacked Pearl Harbor to force themselves into the war and make a lot of money. So yes, somebody is behind the crisis because a lot of people are getting rich. You need to take the budget going to the military. Look at the budget going to the military. We have budgetary expenditures, we have money coming from federation account, and a lot of funds are going in there. And the more money we put into the place, what is the results we see? This particular government, when they came into office, I remember something that was very loud in the government was PDP government spent $16,000 or so, $16 million on power. Where is the power? If you ask me how much you put in security in this country and where is the security today, a conversation for another day.
Truly. Truly, the issue of security is nothing to write home about. We have terrorism left, right, and center. Like, we're in a country where we aren't even confident enough to step out of our own doors.
Yes.
So with much said, Mr. James, what do you think can be? I know this is far-fetched, but what do you think can be done to eliminate these cabals?
Now, legitimacy, when they say legitimacy as a concept in government, lies with the people. Legitimacy lies with the people. So the people can decide what we want. And that gives me a lot of joy because I see, like I said earlier, 12 to 13 million persons joining the voters register within this last period. And as I'm talking to you now, it's closing on the 31st, a few days from now. People are still waiting, crowd, they want to get their PVC. And now when you get your PVC, it shows that people have realized that the lie that says your vote doesn't count. If my vote doesn't count, have you asked yourself, why do we have vote buying? If my vote doesn't count, why do we have vote buying? Right? So it shows my vote counts. My vote has something to say. And what really happened is, when you don't come out to vote, by the time those who come out to vote votes, there is a gap of those who didn't come out. So we have so registered voters who didn't come out. Then it's shared among people who are there. Some political parties, they bring out money and they share it. So vote buying again. If you don't come out, somebody will pay and take your votes. Wow. So one solution now is what is going on. Every Nigerian who is 18 years and above, you must not just get your PVC, come out and vote on that day. By the time you come out to vote, you would have taken power from the cabals because they can no longer decide, oh, I want to make a certain XYZ. That's on one hand. Two, political parties. With this mischief of cabals and godfatherism would have been cured in the last amendment to the Electoral Act. The Electoral Act recommended that there should be direct primaries. And direct primaries is when everybody in the political party will go and vote. I will go and vote. I want ABC to be our presidential candidate, our senatorial candidate, or governorship candidate. We no longer have that delegate system where a few persons are brought to represent everybody and you can easily buy them.
Yeah.
But if you have to buy entire political party across the cities of the country, you may not have the funds. And you are not sure you will get the results you want to get even if you buy. So we will need to cure that mischief in the Electoral Act. bring back direct primaries, and ensure that is adopted across all political parties. Then you can break the wings of these cabals. They can no longer sit down and decide, okay, we want to put our puppet in office and do what we want to do. The people will now begin to decide. And again, what's democracy? Government of the people, by the people, and for the people, as it were, and by the people. As it is right now, it is government not for the people, because the people are not really taking well, no, we have, as Nigerians, we've not played our roles. So when we get our PVCs, we network amongst ourselves. We screen our candidates, and very beautiful about this last electoral, there's room for independent candidates. So even if the political parties decide to do some shambles, we can decide to raise a certain individual and fall behind that person, and person becomes president, becomes your governor, becomes your local government chairman, as it were. So the solution is coming and it's close. But what we must do, first and foremost, is that we should all have a PVC. If you are above 18 and you don't have your PVC, you've sold your future, because you don't have a say in what concerns you. And you are partly responsible for the situation we are in today. And like I said, it's not just getting your PVC, because some people have their PVCs and it's like ID card. You just sit in the bank where I need to travel and show you can have an identity. No, it is for voting. And so we have voter party. You see some places where you have, say, 300 voters, only 80 will come out to vote. What happens to the rest people? And so if you don't come out that voter party, if you don't come out then somebody can decide to buy those votes. Okay, why not print all this paper? Because for every polling unit, if you have 300 voters here, they will bring 300 papers there. So if by the time only 18 persons come to vote, the rest paper, and the little INEC staff or whoever is there might be overpowered by these other persons. They will just collect it, give you more money to clean them out, and print the rest and put it in the box. And it becomes for a certain political party. It then means that all those who went to open their shop and were selling things when they were supposed to be voting, all those who decided to watch on television across their legs and then their AC condition, you are responsible for the kind of government we have. So for us to cure this thing, the power lies in the people. Pick up your pins and come out of it.
Thank you so much, Mr. James. You have shed so much light on this topic. And it's left to us now. It's left to we Nigerians to get our PVCs. Come out and vote. Do not sell your rights. Do not keep your mouth closed, because you are the future of this country. Thank you so much again for joining us, Mr. James.
Thank you.
To stay updated on all our programs, please subscribe, like, and follow our YouTube channel, the new National Star TV channel.